Now, here's a question for you, too. If your son's married and didn't even tell you, and you never met his wife, if she seduces you, are you having sex with your son's wife knowingly? No. Now, what's the difference? Reuben was with Bilhah knowingly, right? He knew she was one of Jacob's wives, right? Yep. Why? And what was the result of that? A weird blessing from Jacob, right? But did Jacob really stone his son? No. Right. Why? He didn't really want to go. Right. So, another prophet talks about a father and son having sex with the same woman and knowing they're doing that, I guess, right? Well, I don't even know Jonathan got married to anyone, right? I wasn't even invited to the wedding or told there was a wedding, right? I don't even know what year he was married in, right? If he was or not, right? But I still wouldn't go to his wife if I know you're married, Jonathan, and sleep with your wife, right? If I know what she looks like, right? Nor can she show up at the door and I say, what the hell are you doing here? Go back home with my son, right? See, knowing to do good is what James is talking about, right? Son, right? If I don't know you're married, I don't know what your wife even looks like, son, to avoid that, right? And I don't sleep around. I'm trying to find my own wife, not your wife, right? And why would I even go after her, right? And I never told you I don't think you're worthy to marry a woman now, son, right? I just don't know you married, right? Now, did your mom tell you something like that, right? I don't know. I don't have a problem with you get married to a woman. Now, if you were gay, that's up to you. I don't know. I don't ask. I don't tell. But you're in the Navy, so don't see nothing yet. That's all I can say, right? Right now, it's still part of the old Navy system. And you can't be gay until you're out of the Navy. Whatever you're doing, I don't know. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying you are or aren't. Right. But if you want to get married to a woman, here's the point, right? You gotta let me know so nothing weird happens, right? Again, right? For instance, you talked about dating a girl named Maria, right? That's a common name, right? There are a lot of Marias, especially Hispanic women, right? For example, right? I met one even at the strip club, right? Who called herself Maria, right? From Cuba. But the thing is, son, right? If you have sex with her, and I don't know you did, right? And she has sex with me, right? That's not what that means, right? That I'm sleeping with your wife, right? The woman is two-timing us both as she's doing that. You understand? Right? The difference is knowing what you're doing wrong is sin. I don't even know you're married, for one. I don't even know who you're having sex with, for two, right? And If you telling me you in the Navy, I think you're in Norfolk, Virginia, right? I'm in Georgia, son, right? How does that have to do with us? Right? Unless you're lying, right? See, that's the problem, right? I don't want your women, son, but I am trying to find a wife after your crazy mother abandoned me in Tennessee and I divorced her butt, right? I'm not even after Amanda. I don't even know her phone number, dummy, right? Why? Right. I never asked for it. I'm not supposed to, right? That, if I won't bridge that gap, right? In other words, I don't even know her phone number. I only know yours or my son, right? She's not my daughter, though, right? You understand either? Right. But I would not go after her wherever the freak she's at because I don't know, right? I never even Googled Amanda. I did Google Mary Bell, so she's an ex who told me she might have had a baby, right? I don't know what the hell's going on there either, right? But only to see where the hell she's at and if she's even still alive, something, right? You know, right? I'm not trying to harm her, I never did, right? I just wanted to make love to her or marry her, right? And she wouldn't commit. I moved home to Georgia, and in September, I met a girl named Michelle, had a little affair, broke up with Michelle because there was other issues. She was technically, mentally a 5-year-old, so I didn't think that would work out, right? It isn't that I didn't want to marry her either. I just didn't think her mother would let me marry her. You understand? So I broke up with her. Not because I didn't want to marry her, but I didn't know if I could, right? Because mentally, she's a 5-year-old, right? She was in some kind of wreck or something, like, or was born with some kind of birth defect or something. I forgot all the details, but I met her because, again, I was still trying to work at Labor Finders, right? And little Roddy and Donna were both disabled too, and let me live with them. And I met her through them, and we had sex twice. Once at the beginning, right, and once at the end, middle of the month, right. And then I went with Mary Bell, one more time to see if she just wanted sex again, right. And that's all it seemed like she wanted, right, was sex. For 18 months, 17 months, right. She always seemed like she wanted sex with me, not to marry me, right, or commit to me, right. So I'm breaking up with her too, right. But that should have nothing to do with you, son. That wasn't even a year after you were born, right? Right. Nor do I know anything about you personally in details, right? I know your name, I know your birth date, right? Things like that, which are common, right? But I don't know you as a man, right? I don't know any details about you, I don't know. Except what you told me or didn't tell me. And hell, some of it I might have forgot even, I don't know, right? Now, here's the problem though. If Daphne is getting the girls to do something dumb, she's not supposed to either, right? I don't know no details about your personal life, son, right? I don't even know where you're at now, right? All I know is you told me you're on a ship, the George W. Bush, right? And I don't know you're not, right, son? But you know where I'm at, right? I don't know where you're at, right? I'm not stalking you either. Whoever this person is, they're stalking me and don't even know what stalking is, right? Now, I'm still doing this hypothetically. That's not anger, right? It's confusion, right? And Here's the point. God does not confuse us. The devil does, right? But God offers us forgiveness to stop the dumb behavior, right? Repentance means if you do know, and she knows she's with you, and then she comes to me, she's not supposed to do that either, right? And if I don't know you're married or having sex with somebody, I'm still not going to purposely, if she comes to me or not, think she's with you, right? I mean, who would think that some woman I don't even know would come up to the house, sleep with my son and then me, right? A person wouldn't think that either, right? Now, I don't have a problem if you want to get married either, right? To a woman or a man, but I don't know your needs, what you're into, right? Even, right? I'm not saying you're gay and I'm not saying you're straight. I'm saying, like any man, you determine how you feel, right? Now, if you don't want to marry a man, you don't got to marry a man. And if you want to marry a man, you can't, right? If you want to marry a woman, that's the point too, right? You can even marry a true hermaphrodite, but they're not always female or male. Even if they look like a woman externally, right? And a good example of this is I heard maybe Jamie Lee Curtis was hermaphroditic through one of her parents. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I heard a rumor, right? She might have the extra chromosome. I don't know. It's not like I've seen her DNA test of it, right? But I wouldn't have a problem with Miss Curtis if she's, again, a true hermaphrodite, or there's something different about her, right, than most women, right? But I still see her, if she looks like externally a woman, right? Unless they did the surgery on her too and made her look like a woman, and she's really genetically both, right? I don't know. But it ain't a problem if she is, right? Or he, right? She's still a human being to me, right? And she looks like a woman to me. Like Billy Joel says, right? And, but I don't have a problem with any person, even transgender people. But it's wrong to seduce a heterosexual being with a woman and pretend you're a woman. That's what I'm saying, right? You can't do that either. That's lying to the person, right? Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor, right? If you're a male who feels you're a woman, that's one thing, right? But if you try to be with a heterosexual male like you're a woman, you're not. You're bearing false witness to your neighbor, right? That's why that's one of the 10 Commandments, right? And gay or straight, if you're married and you do not commit adultery against your partner, that's what the 10 Commandments means. And they're general laws, right? Just, if you get married, don't commit adultery, right? With a male or a female. Both of you will be fooled. You understand what Moses means? That's what Jesus means too, right? Yeah, no. The difference is Jesus is teaching us grace and forgiveness of making mistakes, repentance of sins, right? And Paul put it this way in 14, right? If you're doing something and someone approves of it or not, like eating the meats, let's say someone wants to eat pork, which is a Jewish taboo, or even a Jew wants to eat a pork sandwich. That's if he wants a BLT, right? Am I going to tell the Jew you're going to hell for eating a BLT? No. But am I going to tell the Jew you have to eat the pork? No. Love covers a mistake or your right to choose not to do something And this is why Jesus said, let your yes be yes, or your no, no, or your no, no. Now, some people think no means yes and yes means no, but that's confusion. Right? You can't do that unless you're not hearing the person and then you're doing your own thing, right? If the person says no and you do something to them anyway, you're taking that person's right and say no and just do whatever you want with them, right? That's wrong too, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if they think I might be coming up the coast towards Savannah, right? So, don't know what's going on with my parents and my sister, or if we're going to go somewhere or what, right? But we got the hurricane coming in our direction. Now, if it goes off to the Atlantic a little bit, we don't know, right? It's still a little early. It's still around Florida area, though I wish them well too, right? And, we can all deal with things, right, that we can't control too, right? But see, when the temple's built, that's what it has to do with too, right? Mm-hmm. John is seeing the destruction of the temple, but what he's also seeing is a future temple, perhaps 2,000 years later, being rebuilt. The problem is, right, does God want it rebuilt? Ezekiel seems to think so. But the problem is, too, do the Muslims want it rebuilt? Nope. So that's kind of the problem there, right? Mm-hmm. So you either got to make some kind of covenant with them, right? Peace treaty, rebuild it, right? And the warning is they might break the peace treaty and do World War III, right? Now, I don't have a problem with rebuilding the temple if it's scripture. Then it is. But you're also warned, possibly, those you make the covenant with could betray you, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it means too, Christian. Mm-hmm. Now, like I told you though, if people think the law's literal, right, and think it's a sin to be gay, it don't harm you, right? Right. You know what I mean, right? You can't take away their right to feel that way, right? You understand, right? But what you can do is say to them, I think you're not being like Jesus, right? You might be being like Paul or Moses, if you're taking all that literally, and that's up to you, brother, right? I know. But if you can't even marry and be given in marriage, should you just be celibate and not even worry about it? That's up to you too, right? See? I think what Pastor Davis was doing was seeing if some of his congregation was gay and jerking off with them, right? To do so, right? But that's wrong, right? See, one, I know, he's not even thinking of his wife or monogamy, right? Damn. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't say how many men he actually did it with, right? And that it's not a rumor or that I even witnessed it myself, right? Unless he's also trying to come over to the single man's apartment and in the middle of the night or something, and I fought them off or something. Right. I don't know. But I never made that accusation either, but it's not impossible, like I said, right? I could have even molested my stepdaughter, but didn't, right? Is that a confusing statement to you? Shouldn't be, it shouldn't be. But if my ex-wife don't get it, right? Why I left her crazy butt. You know, it's not like, again, I didn't think I would get home, but the difference is with when I was on the tour in Sicily, for example, right? I left the safety of the tour thinking Sheena was on another tour because that's what I was hoping she could somehow do. And we meet in another city or something, right? And I admit I was no longer thinking rational by that time, right? I was confused about her behavior. I was kind of hoping I can talk to her about what was going on, why she hadn't been writing me. And see, she hadn't yet broke up with me yet either. I got the Dear John letters, what they call them, right? And I don't know what was going on, right, with her. I was even willing to marry her, right? Like Daphne, right? I never said I didn't want to marry you, right? In fact, that's what I was talking about. Even if we had to save up some money or whatever, right? And me and Daphne, we just got married in Fort Worth courthouse at just a feast, right? We didn't get legally married, right? And we had to get legally divorced, right? Because she left me stranded in Tennessee, right? Problem with Maribel, she didn't act like she didn't want to marry me, right? Again. So I broke up with her thinking nothing would happen because she was on birth control pills the whole time. Right? Right. No harm, no foul is what I'm thinking, right? But then 3 years later, she met this dude named Scott in December, right? Tells me this crazy story. What am I supposed to do about it, right? Plus, it's 2 weeks off, right? So you're on birth control pills, right? I don't know nothing about it, right? I don't have a problem with it. If it is, I don't have a problem with that, right? Never did. Unless you're mad about it, right? And what can I do about that? I didn't know you would get pregnant by that last fling, right? That don't normally happen even if you cheat on someone on birth control pills, right? Never heard of that either, right? Told you all this before, right? And Jonathan still was no more than 1 year old, right? In 96, maybe two. Well, he was born in 94, so in 95 he turned 1, right? And then in 96 he turned 2, right? But after I broke up with Maribel, right? Now, I don't prefer Pat, right, over Jonathan or Jonathan over Pat. Whether Pat's my son or not, I don't know still, right? The math's a little off, maybe. But it don't mean it's impossible. There's only one way to know, and I can't afford a lawyer to hire one to find out, right? See, that's all law issue. And I was never in a position to hire a lawyer, right? And find out, right? And I figured you would understand that by now. It's not personal. It's not that I don't want to find out. I can't afford to right now, right? I don't even know what it would cost, but anyway, right? And that's why I gave you a little bit of money, right? To determine for yourself what you wanted to do, right? Not to make you do something, but to give you the choice. But if someone done made up their mind, Mary Bell, you can't reason with them either, you know. If you become irrational, because you done thought Patrick was mine, right? I'm better off letting you believe whatever you want to believe because I can't reason with you then, right? Two, according to one of the other passages in the Bible, cannot walk together unless they be agreed, right? If you don't agree with me, Patrick could even be my son. I don't know either if it's seems like around October that you got pregnant, right? But if you know I'm the last guy you're with, that's obvious who the child is, right? But if not, I don't know, right? I'm not around you to that, right? Now that could have to do with your birth control pills, right? And your last period would have to be in September, right? But you acted like you had your period until Scott, right? Well, the problem with Scott is May 31st ain't even 5.5 months later, right? The biggest a child developing in the woman's womb can be at that juncture is 1.5 to 2 pounds if it's a big baby, right? Even my Aunt Janine, who had bigger babies than you, right? Dennis and Craig, right? Like a normal pregnancy, right? You don't show your first 6 months even, right? No one knows you're even pregnant, right? It's from the 7th to the 9th you pack on the weight, right? That's all pregnancies. The birth weight's your problem if he could or couldn't meet 4.4 pounds 9 ounces, right? And this is all I'm telling you, right? I'm not telling you I know he's mine. I'm not telling you we're faithful or unfaithful. I don't know. Is what I'm telling you, right? You were not treating me like you even wanted to be with me anymore, right? We were only having sex once a month in a motel, and we got caught in August together, right? And still, you stayed in Virginia, and still, you wouldn't commit, and still, I felt like you just didn't want me the whole time, right? But for sex, right? Felt more like a rebound guy, right? If it's your mom, if it's Steven, if it's whatever, Bart, right? When you let people, this is why I said this, anong ginagawa mo, pakinggan mo ako. When you listen to the people around you and they don't want you with me, but you won't be with me for sex, right? You're still not meeting my needs for a girlfriend or a wife, right? And I'm in Georgia, having to go 8 miles there and 8 miles back, right? I mean, 8 hours there and 8 hours back. To even see you, right? Yeah, I broke up with you. You didn't break up with me. And though I don't know you're married, son, right? Nor having sex with women around me. So that's not consciously having sex with your women, right? Though I'm a 52-year-old single male. Trying to find your own life, right. But I can't do that with sabotage involved, right? I don't even know anything about Amanda coming here or not. But if she didn't tell me her name when we slept together, Daphne, that's on her, right? Not saying I don't care, right? I just don't know, right? But why don't know, right? See, someone has to, if Amanda comes here, when she leaves before morning, also come by and also black me out, right? Where I don't know if she even came by, right? But I still wake up, right, in the middle of the night and then the next morning, even if she did demand it, right? Now, to marry anyone, right, and I'm divorced from your mother, so that's not what it means, right? But if I was married to your mother and we divorced, right, the law don't say I can't marry you either. I just don't know you want to marry me. And I don't think we were even together after you get married, right? Do you understand? I don't know we even had sex, right? Ever. I don't know you even want sex with me, and I assume you don't, right? Not that you do. I never said that either, right? And all I'm doing is asking the accoster, the accuser, right? What do you know about it that I don't, right? What happened that I don't remember that you know why I don't remember, which is attempted murder, right? You don't own me, We divorced. I didn't divorce you to get with your daughter, by the way, right? But if she has a child with me, I need to know that too, right? So nothing crazy happens there either. I told you, right? And if Amanda wants to marry me, there's no legal reason we can't, right? I just don't know if she does, and I don't think she does, right? Either way. It's another hypothetical for me, right? Well, do you think I want to marry your daughter? And I don't even know if she likes me that way, right? I never said that either, right? I'm just giving you the rules in the Bible according to the old that I'm trying to follow with that, right? But it don't mean she can't show up and seduce me and leave, and I don't know, right? She even came by. If I'm being blacked out during the day, right, you can also black me out at night and I not even know. That's what I'm complaining about. Can a 15-year-old work in a job where she's required to have a GED, be 16 and certified? No. Nope. If she does, is she breaking child labor laws herself? Yes. Now, if it's her father's sword, right, and she's lying about it or trying to make a little money on the side, can she do it then? I don't know. I'm not going to try and get her in trouble if she did, though, right? You know what I mean, Judge, right? Hypothetically, if someone's listening or not, right? But I also did not know she was 15, right? I also asked her age, where she was from, which are normal questions for anyone you meet for the first time, whether you like them or not. But if they know I like Asian girls, right? And no one told me in the store she was 15, right? And I don't know why I was banned even from the store. I'm the one with temporary amnesia of what happened, right? Everyone in the store then is trying to take advantage of my disability. Even the woman who knew she was 15, even if her dad knew she was 15 and let her work in the store. You understand why that's illegal, right? Right. But had they been honest and told me they were just training her to do the job, right? Would I have cared or get her in trouble? Probably not. Probably not. You understand the difference, right? I did not go in there to knowingly get the girl in trouble or sleep with the girl, and they're acting weird about it. Not me, not you. Oh no. But when you're arguing with someone a legal point, anyway, before you go out to the store, right? And then after you go out to the store, right? You lose an hour of time, but you don't know exactly what happened, right? But you know the only time you lost time is the record of fall, right? Where you have head trauma of some sort, right? You know, it took either a windshield or a concrete or something blacked you out, right? You know. Now the thing about blackout amnesia, right, is you don't remember nothing, and they can't make you remember something. Like I said, even if my stepdaughter came in there and I don't remember it, right, you can't make me remember something I keep telling you I'm not sure even happened, but I could have, but didn't, right, in my mind, right? Right, because I'm around her, right? But she's also in the bed with her mom, right? In the bedroom with our mom, right? How am I going to even try to sneak in there without worrying about waking up Daphne? That's the first problem there, right? And I didn't even intend to. I'm on the couch, right? So like I said, if the stepdaughter wandered in there in the middle of the night, I'm left with a few options anyway, but to tell on her to Daphne, right? I think that's what I would do, knowing me, knowing you. Not knowing her or her daughter after that either. See, something's off if your wife just runs off and leaves you stranded in Tennessee, right? And now she's got to get back by Sunday, right? Which she would have had to do anyway, because I had to be back on work by Monday, right? Now, recently she said something about having 2 weeks leave. I didn't. Never did. Didn't have a chance to request leave. So you gotta request leave, Daphne. You can't just take off, or say WOL. Right, absence without leave. You gotta get leave first, right? No one told me you were gonna want to go to Arkansas for 2 weeks. Not even you till recently, right? Now all I'm trying to do is make peace, right? With all this, right? I don't know nothing about it, right? Either way. I don't know my stepdaughter even has an inkling for me, right? I think she's in Arkansas or Texas, right? Last time I heard, she was living with John in Houston, Texas. And then John's in the Navy now, so I don't know nothing about it, right? Unless John or Daphne tell me, right? I mean, I'm home, right? I'm where I grew up, right? I know the area. I don't know Tennessee. I don't know Texas. I don't know, right? Arkansas. I don't know Oklahoma, even though that's where I think my friend David is, right? And that's the last time, right? I saw him was when I think Megan or his son was around 12, right? And his son was around 9 or something, right? I don't know, right? Or 8. But like I said, I can't prove anything if I don't know anything, right? I don't know when they had to seduce me because you were with the girl in the trailer, and I never told her, right? But did I have to, David? I mean, you're going off with me, right? And if you met someone else, you're not being my wingman, you're dating someone else. Right? Wild with Quinn, 2-timer. But I didn't tell her. But if she suspected, who's she gonna cheat on you with? Me? I don't know. I never went after her either. And when she was pregnant, I just took her to her appointments because you were working. Right? Don't recall ever sleeping with her once. Right? I'm not saying she can't seduce me, but it would be awkward, and I would try to talk her out of it. But there again, I don't beat up women and use my karate on women who want sex with me. I would tell her politely, no. Right? But if she said, I know David cheated on me with that girl, I don't sex with you for revenge, right? What can I do? Right? I don't know, right? I don't even know that even happened, right? That's another hypothetical to me, right? I don't even know I was with Tina and Kathy, or Tina or Kathy, or either way. Or as far as I know, I didn't have sex with no one until I was with the stripper girl that chased Marty, even, right? And that was after Tina, right? But like I said, right, I feel temptation with most women, right? But I also know, unless they really say something, I don't even try to sexually engage them, right? Now, if I'm flirting or joking with a girl, right, that again don't mean we are going to have sex or not, right? I don't expect it the first day I meet you, even if I have one day stands or one night stands, or whatever you want to call it, right? Some of the women I was with in the morning, and some of them I was with in the evening, right? But they were one day stands or one night stands, and I've had them before, and I'm not afraid to do them again, and you're interfering with my dating life if you do, right? You're not Jason Voorhees, Christian. You're not supposed to kill people for premarital sex. No. Jesus wouldn't approve of that. Satan would, right? In fact, according to the Gnostics in the book of Enoch, right, him and the angels started trying to have sex with the daughters of men and Adam, right? Maybe some are with men too, right? But marriage for two people, male and female, female and female, male and male, and hermaphrodite and hermaphrodite, or hermaphrodite male, or hermaphrodite female, right? You see what I mean? They don't even know about the hermaphrodites. Why? They don't care. They don't care, right? But they are real. They are real. It's like a unicorn, right? Was there once a horse with a horn on it, and like the dodo bird did it go think, right? You wouldn't know, right? See, the thing about a unicorn horn is it's a trophy, right? It's a phallic symbol. Men would see that as a trophy if there even was a horse with a horn on its head. And what would they do? Cut off the horn from the head, right? What do they do with elephant tusk? They cut it off the elephant. And oddly, it don't grow back for some reason, right? Or the elephant's dead. They murdered it. They murdered the elephant. Right? The poachers did, right? And I am for animal conservation, though if we don't watch out with the oceans and Chernobyl, right? What's Chernobyl, Russians? Happens to all the oceans from a nuclear war. We all die slowly over the next 1,000 years, unless Jesus returns after those 1,000 years to try to set up the kingdom and do away with Satan, right? Now the thing is, if you read the book of Revelations, God may have to cause fire to come down from heaven at the end again, right? if man destroys himself from within with nuclear warheads and neutron bombs, right? And see, you can't remove a billion people all at once without a big weapon, right? To do so all over the world. But I don't know. And you might have to use multiple neutron bombs to get everybody all over the world that's a Christian, right? If you try to target them that way. Mm-hmm. And who knows what you would do to other living creatures like cats or dogs or, right? Mm-hmm. If that's what it targets, is living creatures, right? Unless you think you can program it to the way the Christians think or something, right? I don't know, right? I'm just warning people because I've heard of a neutron bomb since Neutron Dance by the Pointer Sisters, I think, right? And Russia confused it with a neutron bomb. What the hell, right? I don't know. But I heard of them too. I've heard of them too. In elementary, maybe this junior high, right? I started hearing about neutron bombs, right? Yeah. And how they work sounds similar to what Jesus is describing in the Bible. One will be taken, the other less, right? Two. It's called thinking outside the box, right? See, the material, too, of even their clothing would be that fine. But the body itself will be destroyed by the weapon. But again, Isaiah said, what, Christians? No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Right. Now, you can be neutron bombed, but to be absent from the body is what? To be present with the sword. Right. It don't change that, you know. But it would cause all kind of havoc, chaos, and you would probably your food supply, and you might have to go cannibalistic after that, and have very few resources, right? And you would ruin yourselves too, right? Not just us. See, the problem about nuclear warhead is it causes what with the surrounding elements, right? Chernobyl. And if you do sea blasts or things like that, there's even nuclear warheads where you can shoot them in the ocean, ain't there? That will ruin your fishing life, right? And then you will have less resources to live off of, right? What do you think John's trying to warn you about in Revelations? Right? Things he's seeing 2,000 years ago that we might be doing today, right? Including the mark of the beast after all this too, right? That's how they're going to try to control people, right? And they will cut off your head if you don't receive it, or kill you if you don't receive it, right? Now, some people might try to counterfeit the mark, right? Again, that's not really the real mark, right? Like in the Matrix, right? They might try to make you live in little capsules, I don't know, and feed you intravenously, right? I don't know. I was fed intravenously for 2 weeks, right? Before they were the Matrix, right? Well, the Matrix came out what year? I think it's been on AMC recently, right? Let's see. Not today, though. Don't like. But Independence Day is on again, right? But not The Matrix for some reason. But it was on the last couple of days, right? Just playing, you know what I'm saying, right? And don't play I'm not rational either, right? I wasn't always mental, right? Till I got around the shipmates and they went and trained me, right? And then something happened with my new girlfriend. I don't know what happened there. And I intended to marry her, but I thought she didn't want to get married, right? That's all to me. I never even wrote her and said I didn't want to get married either. I was talking about moving, maybe going to a few motel rooms once we got back, and right, I was trying to continue the relationship myself. And I never said I didn't want to marry her, that no one would want to marry her either, right? Now, even if we broke up, I don't tell nobody that, right? And sometimes when you don't know what to say, you just make something up, right? Ooh, they're coming out with an Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. New TV show. If you're interested in that kind of thing. Well, I'm seeing if The Matrix on today, right? La 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 do, Three's Company too. Right. So the Harris, she's named in the wheel. Yeah. The next episode is Cupid World Works. I'm sorry. Whoops. John falls for a busy stewardess, Mary Cabaret or something. I don't know. I don't remember. This is IFC actually, right? Friends and lovers. Janet and Philip plan for the wedding at Janet's apartment. Jack wants to win the approval of Vicky's father. Mr. Bradford tells Jack that Vicky was up for a promotion at work in another state and turned it down. That's season 8, episode 21. Right? Well, it's on pretty much on morning till about 9, and then Third Rock from the Sun comes on IFC for a dick replacement. Not penis. It's called a double entendre. Now, Richard can be a dick. Or a dick can be a Richard. I know. Is it Richard Van Dyke or Dick Van Dyke? But then it became a phallic symbol. Now, was Dick a dick? I don't know. I don't think so. He seems like a decent person to me, but... especially Richard Dixon. I think he's the real dick. They mean... someone changed the name, right? From something positive to negative, right? After visiting a psychic, Dick decides to choose Mary's next mate, so she won't be lonely when he leaves Earth. Okay, that's right. They're aliens, right? And And I think Mary Jane Curtin, right, or something like that. Yeah. From SNL or something. And then Christian Johnson and French Stewart. Yeah, right. Just memory? Just memory. But you can invite me out for an hour. And that's all I'm trying to figure out. Is why. See, here's the problem. They can't let me out even if the 15-year-old's working in the store. I'm not trying to have sex with her. They're accusing me of wanting it, right? I'm not saying if I knew she was 37, I wouldn't know, right? But I didn't even know it was her they were talking about, right? I don't know. But why do you think the guy in the bakery next door kind of wised up? I didn't know what was going on with you. See, when you lie, you die. You're bearing false witness against your neighbor. That's one of the 10 deadly sins, right? You're breaking one of the 10 commandments, right? You're not supposed to do that either if you're a Christian, right? But you can repent, okay? I forgive you and move on. You're not moving on either if you banned me from the store for no reason that I can recall, right? Besides possibly having sex with you in the bathroom, which then, of course, I would understand, and I'm still staying out the store, right? If you were 15, I know why you did it. Childish immaturity. You thought I meant you, right? Well, I didn't have all the details. The person didn't tell me the person was 15, named Michelle, working in the Orchid Salon. No. They didn't. I was just telling them it would be wrong, right, legally, for someone to be working in the salon at all, right, under 16 in law, and what Georgia law says about it, right. I didn't pick your salon also because it's not near my home, right. It is. Now, there are some closer, some further away, right, that I've also been to. There's even some out at the Oglethorpe Mall, right? There was probably some at the Savannah Mall, but it's closing down for some reason. I guess they're changing the store. And the only thing that's really open is Target or the food court, right? Right. And I think Dillard's might still be open, but still. But like I said, you can't sabotage every friendship I make with Asian women either, right? Now, I know when you marry someone, right, Asian or not, Caucasian or not, African or not, right, first thing that has to happen is interest, right, between the two parties, right? But there's nothing wrong with talking about having sex in the bathroom, whether you did or not, right? It's a fantasy in a movie, right? I seen, right? You can't change that if it really happens, right? Even if the movie was actors playing like they did, you still can't, right? I told you that too, right? It's called a fantasy scene, right? Even if you have two porn stars having sex in the bathroom, right? They can do it in the bathroom, right? Most people, by the way, see those kind of scenes as romantic, right? It's somewhere other than the bedroom. Now, in 9.5 weeks with Mickey Rourke and Kim Basinger, they were having sex in the kitchen even, right? And you're just being a bully. No, you're being a bully. A 15-year-old bully who won't grow up, who thinks she's a spoiled brat. Or maybe you don't. But if you did that, you're a spoiled brat. Only spoiled brats do that. Yeah, I know. Who thinks, because you look like an Asian too, right? Or don't believe me, I had a dream of one or something, right? And trying to figure out what it means, right? And if anyone's trying to make it weird for me to date Asians, it's you. Don't you think? Don't you think? That's crazy too, by the way. Freaking insane. You don't seduce a 52-year-old man. He told you he's 52 and tell him you're 37 from New Jersey, went to college, right? And I'm supposed to know that all that's not true, right? Now, usually, a person tells you the truth, right? When they don't, they feel they're doing something wrong themselves, right? But then they're tricking you, not you them, right? Especially if it's the first time I went into your store to get my nails done, right? And you didn't feel you had to tell me you were 15, but instead 37, right? Like I knew either way, right? And I know Michelle in her 50s, too, around 52 or 53 herself, right? Who's not you? Who's not you? I know Michelle at the Chinatown is older than you, right? But I don't know nothing about her either, right? I don't think she even likes me either. Right? See, like I keep telling you, the relationship has to be consensual for me, right? Meaning what? Right. I know someone is. I know someone's forcing their own rules on people who don't do things their way. Mm-hmm. And that's anarchy, right? And that's what Jesus is warning you about over the last 1,000 years before he can return, right? And there's a reason for that. The beast and false prophet. Within the last 1,000 years, I guess, until they can fire first. Peter, are you the beast and false prophet John is really talking about? Someone's trying to hide the whole truth of Jesus and make him melt like Constantine. Right? That Constantine had some kind of Santa Claus figure who wasn't necessarily Christ-like, right? And focus on good or evil, right? Only. Satan Claus. Christians. Might be Peter. 300 years later, if he was resurrected, he's the one on the shroud, right? Did he go back to Rome after India, after Japan? Thought he died there. In the 3rd century, Emperor Constantine convinced him Jesus was male and the Orthodox, and fully fell away from Christ 3 centuries later. Now, an average lifespan, according to Moses, is 120. But Jesus said there'll be some standing here who shall not taste of death, Peter, till all fulfilled. Is all fulfilled? Nope. You're still here. Hide all you want, play Highlander all you want, change your name all you want. Why do you think people are doing it today? Taking on nom de plumes, right? Your real name is Cephas. Cepha in the Hebrew, which means stone, right? But are you a stone head or a stone heart, right? And your problem is Revelation brings us to the millennial reign. But when does it start, right? You don't know the day or hour either, Peter. And will he come back and you go straight to hell with Satan, or will he come back and you really repent, right? That's the problem. You got to repent too, brother, when he returns, or you're going straight to hell with Satan. You can't escape the fiery pits of hell, Peter, if you don't repent yourself. God didn't give you a get out of jail free card just because you're around Christ and don't understand him. A lot of people don't understand him because of you, right? You do understand that, brother, don't you? Don't you? Now, the thing about any prophecy is where there's love, it ceases. You understand what John means there, or Paul means there? Right. The reason people become prophetic, like even fucking Thanos and Doctor Strange, is they're trying to create chaos. They become a prophet because they want to follow evil and not good, right? And destroy over half the population, right? Which was Thanos' idea, right? Well, the Bible talks about at least a third to that many being destroyed, right? During this last 1,000 years, right? Sooner if we have nuclear war, right? And John warns of the fish in the sea even dying from this war, right? You're cutting off your food supply too, idiots, in China and Russia. You're going to have less food, right? And then your people going to just starve of starvation or start becoming cannibals, right? If that's what you want your world to become, guess what? It will. It will if you do this shit. Using weapons of mass destruction will also destroy those who use it against others. You don't know what you're doing, crazies. And you're all freaking nuts. And Oppenheimer is freaking nuts. Whoever came up with the nuclear rocket and learned about splitting the atom, right? But here's your problem. A meteor shower, though as devastating as nuclear warheads, right, is still a natural phenomenon, right? And the Earth has been known to survive such a thing, right? But with man-made nuclear warheads, right, and even the two used on Japan at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right, the devastation ain't worth it to use even one, right? Especially with 16 kilotons or shit like that in China, right? Are we all going crazy, or we just want to destroy our planet from within, right? Because, see, we do that, we all die, slowly, miserably over the next 1,000 years, right? But see, the problem about fulfilling something John said is he told you why you're doing it. Unworthiness to look upon the 7 seals. No man is being worthy to look upon the 7 seals from the book of Revelations. But guess what Isaiah says? The Bible has become as a book written, which men deliver to one another, and at certain passages they're asking them to read this, and some are saying, I cannot, it is sealed. Others are saying, I'm too dumb, I don't know what it means. One's a smart butt and one's a dumb butt, or as. You understand? Right. You're playing too dumb, right? are too smart for your own good, right? You're pretending you don't understand why Isaiah said Shad Melachim and try to make it royals. It's not royals. It's kings, right? Problem is there's Melakoth, which is queens. And Malachi and Melech, right? Not Malek, Melech. With an E, I think, right? Not an A. Not talking about the actor, just in case, right? Don't want him freaking out or anything. Though I have heard of him. Company too. A little if I won't, right? Or exactly if I don't, right? It's the whole point, right? If I'm in a position where I'm disabled and at home, you're not going to want to help me, are you? No. You pretend to want to help veterans. You pretend to want to help the mentally ill, all right? But do you really? All right. No. No, you leave it up to the government, right? No. No one's taking up my case at all because I'm too controversial. I could have blessed my stepdaughter but didn't. Right. Someone's not listening to what I'm saying, right? And trying to make it more than it is. And is dumping all their problems on Shane like he's the cause, too, right? I'm not the cause of your problem. I'm just a man like any other man. Difference is, I know I'm a man, right? That's why God and Jesus can help me. I'm not playing God anymore. You are still, right? When you play God, God can't help you. You're Satan, right? Only Satan says, I am God and there is none else, right? That's what the Gnostics are trying to point out, right? Who is saying in the Old Testament, I am God and there is none else? What does he mean by that, right? There's no God beside me, I know not any, right? That sounds like Satan. It does. Jesus seems to think we're all God, right? Every one of us has a choice and rights, right? And should respect each other's rights, right? Even to be wrong. A little. As long as it's within parameters, right? If you're picking corn and David ate showbread, why make it a big deal even if it's a Sabbath day, right? See what he means, right? And he used the law and what David did to protect them, right? From the crazy people of his day, right? Who wanted to probably sell them, right? And complaining they're eating corn on the Sabbath day, right? Which is a day of rest. But you can eat on the Sabbath day, right? Right. You just can't do several work, right? Well, is picking corn and eating it from the stalk, right, any different than your wife serving it after she prepares it, right? No. No. Why? Right. You're eating it the same day, right? You picked it, right? Why was it so bad for the Egyptians to even pick up sticks? And they went to the tabernacle, right? And the Lord came down, right? And said to Sonny, that ain't my God. Moses is just as satanic as Satan himself, right? Because he was raised in Egypt. He blessed you and cursed you. That's why Jesus died, to remove the curse. But then you gotta bless only. Even your enemies. That's why you don't want to do it, right? You don't think this plan will work, but you're not really trying it either, right? See? But why does forgiveness possibly win in the end? If the devil became human, he can repent too, right? If he's both celestial and terrestrial, right? Like Jesus is, right? See, there's a celestial Jesus who they think is Michael the archangel, and the terrestrial Jesus, who is Jesus, right? But Jesus also is Melchizedek, right? Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. They say that of Jesus too, right? He's also the one Jacob wrestled with, right? He could also be the one who stood in the fiery furnace with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Peter. And even if I burn his body, he's still resurrected. Yep. Doing something crazy, huh? Right. Because you can't handle the female side of Jesus, can you? Mm-hmm. Is that why he said agape os is Peter, right? Now, theos is what is used in Acts 17, I think, when dealing with the goddesses Diana, right? They're goddesses, right? They're statues, right? There's more than one, right? Then he uses theon of her, which is also used by Paul of God, right?